I come from a big family. I come from a pretty large extended family. We all stay pretty close, try to see each other at least once a year. So it was my mom and dad in the household. I had an older sister who's passed, and then I have 4 older siblings who are still living, and we would get together. There was something that happened around ancestors and memory and care that really was a beautiful thing to grow up in. But in our immediate family, in the home, my dad he was really just kind of the center, right? My mother absolutely adored my dad, and that was beautiful to grow up in, right? And my dad adored my mom, and literally this partnership that they had was really the locus for everything. And so mom and dad would come up with kind of ideas and plans and implement it. And in this situation around end of life planning, my dad was particularly funny. And this is the funny part of the story. Dad believed that he was going to pass by the time he was 60 because nobody else in his family, not his mom, his dad, or anybody else had lived beyond 60. He felt like, I think it probably must have been around mid-50s, that he was pressed for time to get us ready for his demise. And in that process, he initiated this process, and I don't even think my mama was really excited about it, but what he would do was Christmas time, just about every year, he'd pull out his estate planning documents, and he would at least he would try to make everybody sit down and hear it, but I was the one, as the youngest, who really didn't have a choice. And so I would sit there and he would walk me through, these are the insurance policies, these are the investments, this is where the will is, this is how the trust is set up. And when I pass, you all will be better off than when I'm here living. He would say things like that, and it would make me so angry. And I would constantly go, Daddy, don't say that. That's not true. We're not gonna be better when you leave. You're not that old, and you're gonna live, and don't say you're gonna die. Well, I was right, he was wrong. He lived 33 years beyond 60, right? So he actually lived to 93. So if you will imagine with me that I had to go through an annual review of all of the estate planning documents, I would say pretty close to 33 years, if not 33 years, right? So Daddy just wanted to make sure we were prepared. The truth of the matter is, when my dad did pass, it made all the difference in the world that all that planning was in place. We didn't have to figure out anything. We didn't have to assume what he would want. We didn't have to guess at who gets what. He planned it all out, and he had really, I think, a beautiful way of doing it so that everybody felt included, everybody felt loved. Everybody didn't get the same thing, but everybody was a part of his plan. And even to the point where, my sister passed before he passed, and we had to kind of negotiate that. We don't have 6 children to split the estate between, we now have 5. And that was really, I think, a burden lifted. My mother and I were able to grieve and care for each other and really help each other through that process without having to go through probate. As a lawyer, I know what probate is like for people, and I have unfortunately seen what happens when rights to property go without a will, right? And so then you've got to go to court, you've got to prove that the person who passed would have wanted, or you have to prove a relationship, an heirship. I remember those things from law school. I don't want to have to go through that, right? I don't want my child to have to go through that. And that's the real lesson, the legacy I think my parents have left with me at this point is you want to make this as easy as you can for your loved ones when you're gone.